and welcome back to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And today's episode, we're going to be talking about Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes.
As Erica has just gotten into that game.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing it for
Several
weeks now.
Several weeks now. Yeah, not quite a month.
Probably over
about a month. Over a month? Yeah.
I've been playing it for a long time, it seems like.
Yes, I mean, and if you're not a gamer, which I don't think many people aren't a gamer these days.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, gaming.
Yeah.
It's turned into competitive gaming at least.
Yeah.
You know, people go to these like warehouses. I remember my friend told me about going to one, and it's like, oh yeah, we were going to play Call of Duty or something, you know, like a competitive shoot-'em-up game or something.
Oh yeah.
And they all connected. It was kind of like a free-to-get-in type thing, and you just competed against other people, and your scores were put up on a, like, thing, and, you know, they had a party, and everybody was eating food, and it was like a convention.
Everybody was eating food. It was crazy,
eating
crazy
food and
times.
drinking drink, and, you know, yeah, it was just kind of like, and I mean, those things now have taken off as, like, gaming conventions and stuff now, you know, it's much bigger than, because when you think of gaming, what do you think of?
Well, what do you mean?
Like, when you think of, like, oh, video games, what do you think of?
I think of, like, all these games people play. I mean, what are you talking? I don't know what you mean.
Like Mario Kart and stuff like that, and Super
Mario.
Mario.
Those are old, aren't they? I mean...
No, they're back in fashion now. I mean, they've been upgraded, but...
So, modern games, the most...
AAA, as they like to call it.
The most recent game before Hogwarts Legacy that I had played was... No, I was going to say Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it was Sims.
It was Sims. I got you into that.
Yeah. So before that...
I knew you'd love that too.
Before that, I am very, very old school. I can probably name literally all the games I've ever played in my life on my fingers. I've played Pong on Atari. I've played Frogger on Atari.
Atari.
I think those are the only two.
I don't think I ever played Atari.
I've played Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3.
On the SNES. On the Super NES.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
And Mario Kart.
On the Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
That was my yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Nintendo
64 was the next one.
Yeah. No, I never played anything.
That was my first console that I owned.
I played
Nintendo 64.
Sonic on the Sega.
Oh yeah, I remember playing Sega on Sonic on the Sega back in.
I played Tetris on the Nintendo. And those were probably it until
I had a Game Boy.
Roller Coaster Tycoon on the computer.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to have this. Oh God. Actually, I had 2 other computer games besides Roller Coaster Tycoon. I had one, it was like some Barbie fashion thing.
Yeah.
And you could design fashion.
Yeah, I remember
I don't know if that was even considered a game.
I didn't play it, but, you know, I remember seeing them.
And then there was some other game.
They were trying to get girls into gaming.
Yeah.
So let's throw Barbie at them. Sims, actually. I'd like to see the demographic of that, because I bought Sims.
And then I always wanted to play Sims, but I never ever played Sims until I met you and you had it. And I was
had the original Sims.
I was like, yes, now I can play Sims.
I had the original Sims, and these, and in the UK, you know, they renamed stuff for over here as well. I had the original Sims, which came out in like early 2000s, maybe 2000. And then they had the Living It Up expansion pack.
Oh, yeah.
And then like a holiday one or something.
Oh, God, there's billions of expansions, aren't there?
Well, it's like the
billions of expansions,
I think
billions of versions.
The Sims 4 is the newest one.
Yeah.
And it's like, after 20 years, you'd think they'd be into like, oh, you know, the Sims 10 or something. But, you know, with all the expansions, Sims 4, I think, is where it ends, because it's now like, you know, it's been encompassed by other games and stuff like that, you know.
I had some other computer game. I can't remember what it was now. God.
We've got Roller Coaster Tycoon, Loopy Landscapes.
Oh yeah, I had I had like two. I had Roller Coaster
Tycoon.
Tycoon, and then I had like two different expansions because I freaking
Loopy
love that
Landscapes
game.
and Roller Trails or something. Yeah, I've got the boxes right here. But it's funny because I've got Steam, which is a client now where you can just download games. You know, you pay for them and you download them, and they're in the computer. You know? They're in the cloud, I guess you could say, on the Steam server. And they've released Roller Coaster Tycoon Deluxe, which is the original Roller Coaster Tycoon game with both expansions added into it. So, and number 2, I think there's like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Oh, I had
4.
Duck Hunt on Nintendo too, where you shot the ducks when they flew up.
They're like because I mean that's what games started out as. They were like arcade games you played on massive machines in the arcade.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, well, we can make this as a home entertainment system, like similar to a movie. Mm-hmm. We'll just play Duck Hunt and Pac-Man and stuff.
I think that came with the Nintendo.
Probably.
I seem to think it came. Some game came with the Nintendo because games back then were so... Well, I don't know how expensive they are now, but...
I mean, the newest titles that are like... going to be big, they've a big fanfare. They've had Hogwarts Legacy. We'll get to Hogwarts Legacy. that came out last year, and it was 5 years in the making, and it had a budget of $150 million.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
They were when it first came out, because what they do is they put it out for like a couple of months as like a top level price.
Yeah.
The MSRP is like $60. And there's that joke from Monkey Island's like never pay more than $20 for a video game, Yeah. And that was back in like 1990.
I said I don't know.
Monkey Island is very good. I mean, people will know Monkey Island. LucasArts were like the kings of adventure games back in the 90s, before adventure games kind of just went off and everybody wanted to play shoot 'em ups and stuff like that.
Yeah. Shoot 'em ups.
That's what I call them. I'm old school. Shoot 'em ups.
Okay, Grandpa.
Competitive gaming. I played GoldenEye. I was pretty good at GoldenEye, okay? In the multiplayer. I could play professionally.
God.
It's on every platform now. Hogwarts Legacy. PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox.
I think PC
Nintendo
was
Switch.
like one of the last ones they released.
They're always the last to get them, and I don't know why that is, because when you play on a PC, you've got the added, if you've got a good setup, if you've got a good graphics card and processor and everything like that, and memory, and also you've got access to the internet where you can download modifications for it if you want to because there's a whole modding community out there for games. Depending on whether the developers say, oh yeah, it's okay, we'll release the code, you can do that.
Oh yeah, I remember when I played...
Because some people are like, oh no.
When I played Roller Coaster Tycoon, I remember being able to look up the cheat codes so that you can have endless amount of money so that you can buy everything to make your park as big as possible.
It was the same with Sims.
You didn't have to rely then on if your park was actually making enough money to expand.
You can do this with Hogwarts Legacy. You can download mods for reshade of the entire game so it looks more realistic.
Yeah.
And, different clothes and outfits and, and different brooms and, damage. You can take less damage and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm playing this game and Dominic has put all this stuff on. So basically I walk into a gobble. I don't know if you guys play Hogwarts Legacy. Let me know. I'm a big Harry Potter fan.
Yes, that's why she wanted to play, because I was like, oh, this is the new one out.
Yeah, so he got the game, but he already played it completely through. So he's sitting there the whole time I'm playing. Oh, you have to go in there. Oh, go do it. You go around and do that. Oh, you have to do this. Yes. And I'm like, shut up. Because
she wants to figure it out herself. Yeah, yes. And she wants to explore the landscape, whereas I'm much okay, what's the next story?
You have the quest. Do the quest.
Do the quests.
You haven't advanced in the quest. Do the quest. And I'm just like, can I just fly my broom around the Scottish Highlands?
And as a result, she has leveled up faster than I did. And people who've played Hogwarts Legacy probably just did the quests and stuff, and they got to like level 30. But they know at level 34 is when you get the house cup and
I'm at
take your OWLs.
I'm
and
at like 33,
but
according to you, I have loads of quests.
You've still got a little bit of the main story left, so you'll be able to finish it out, no problem. And of course, there's people who are like, "Oh, I need to 100% everything. I need to get all the Merlin trials. I need to get all the astronomy tables. I need to find all the mazes. I need to find all the landing pads.
I do need to find some more mazes.
All the field guide pages.
I've only found one maze so far, but yeah. So he's bumped all this stuff up.
Yeah.
And I go into a goblin camp, and all I have to do is just fire my wand at them, and they just go ugh, and drop dead.
Well, you're a high level now too, so that helps, because very early in the game you were flying around, and you were going to places that it was a higher level than you.
Oh yeah.
So there was like enemies that were like a couple of levels higher.
It was taking forever.
It was taking forever to kill them because you were just blasting away and using the spells.
Yeah, but it's not as fun if they don't put up a little bit of a fight. Does that sound sick?
No, it doesn't. People will love it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're enjoying it, I think, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because it's come under some criticism. Obviously, the J.K. Rowling stuff. People going, but it's, as a standalone game that's based on the source material of her work, it's fun. That's the ultimate thing. The reviews on Steam very positive.
Yeah, it has absolutely nothing to do with Harry Potter, by the way. Just in case you were wondering, it's set in the past.
Yeah, it's basically set in the late 1800s, like a century prior to the events chronicled in the Harry Potter books.
Mm.
And it was published by Avalanche Software under Warner Brothers Portkey Games business. And it's a single player game.
Portkey, wasn't that... We also had on our phones for a little while that was a Portkey game as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's
it was basically like Pokemon Go, which we've never played, but
what was it called?
It was called
No, it was called Harry Potter Wizarding.
Yeah.
Was it Wizards Unite?
Wizards Unite. That's what it was.
Because there was other people playing it.
Yeah.
It was a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a mobile game fan. I don't play Candy Crush. I don't play all that kind of stuff that's on mobile games. I'm not one of those. The only handheld gaming device I ever owned was a Game Boy, and that was 35 years ago. And I played Tetris on it, and
yes,
all the other
35 years ago. How old are you?
Yeah, 35 years ago, something like 30 odd years ago. I don't know. How old are you? How old are you?
I enjoyed Wizards Unite for a time, and then it was just it just kind of became same old. I don't know. To me, we stopped playing it, didn't we? We were just like...
people would say that about Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, it's same old. And I mean...
To me, it's not, though, just for the pure reason that I can fly around and see different scenery.
The scenery, it's built on the Unreal Engine 4. And I mean, if you play games like Red Dead Redemption and, any kind of AAA game today, which is the top titles, the open world and stuff like Baldur's Gate, Skyrim, all these other games that have open world, and they've done, they put a lot of work into the scenery. Hogwarts Legacy, it's gorgeous,
Yeah.
And there's a big map.
The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's very realistic. I've never played a game that was so realistic. And when I'm flying on the broom, or if I'm running down the sidewalk or something, and there's something low hanging, or if I have to go in a cave or something, and I have to duck to go in the cave, I catch myself ducking in real life. I don't know how normal that is for people to do, but
no, it's normal.
I'm
done that
ducking
in games all
that.
The time. Even playing space games, in Star Trek or something like that, and, a ship's coming, I will duck, I'll go, ugh, even though I know it's not going to hit me.
When I get my character to the to the edge of like the cliff or something like that, where you can see down. The artwork and
the graphics,
the graphics are so detailed that I'm looking down in the screen as if the screen is a window, and I can see over the side because the detail just keeps going down. It looks like I feel like I'm literally looking at something real. I don't know how else to describe it. It's bizarre.
I mean, like you say about, it's realism and all this kind of stuff. I mean, graphics-wise, yes. Like, people, when they're talking about realism, like my immersion, that's another game trope. It's like, I need to be immersed in this game. Yeah. I want to be a wizard. I want to go to Hogwarts. I want to do the thing. Mm-hmm. That's what people were kind of complaining about. It's like, I just want to be a Hogwarts student. I want to go to classes. I want to learn magic.
I mean, that would be fun.
I don't want to be the chosen one. Because that's another thing that people are like, they forced the protagonist to be the chosen one.
I guess we need to talk a little bit, like, just for anybody who has not played it, who's a fan of Harry Potter but who has not played the game, like, let's just talk a little bit about the actual story.
The story is you are a 5th year student. So they're not like, if you're a Harry Potter fan.
We don't know why. I would have liked a little bit of that story as to why I'm just now going.
Well, that's what a lot of people say. Oh, well, what's going on? Where have they been for the last 4 years?
Like, at the beginning of Star Wars, how they have the
scroll
a long time ago. I don't need anything to scroll, but they could have just shown a little like movie at the beginning, just telling me why I haven't, just so I can get into character, just so I know why I'm only just now going to school as a 5th year. Where have I just been like in some like London comprehensive or what? Like where have I been
because,
all this time?
As we know, Harry Potter, he got his letter to go to Hogwarts when all the other kids were. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're a wizard, Harry, Yeah. And it's like,
I guess to be fair,
he didn't know because he was living in Muggle land. And he didn't know, I can make things happen, but I'm a bit weird, I'm a bit odd.
Yeah,
but then,
he didn't know he was a wizard. I guess to be fair, we don't know where did everybody else go to school, or did they not go to school? Where did Ron Weasley go to school before he started Hogwarts? Yeah. I guess we don't know that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, he would have gone to primary school, but primary school what?
Yeah, with Muggles?
Yeah, with Muggles. Yeah, I mean, that's there you go, that's something that JK didn't really expand on back.
No.
I'm sure she had. Oh yeah, he went to he went to the local
I mean, to be fair, like
in the Barrow Primary School or whatever. Yeah. And with all the other witches and wizards who were just going
To be fair, she's got a bunch of backstories for different people and different situations on the Wizarding World website, and I think really, really hardcore fans know some things that I probably don't know because I haven't. So maybe there is some sort of backstory as to where these kids go to school before they get to Hogwarts. But I don't know.
It could be a mechanic, like she's said, when they start reaching 9 and 10, that's when their magical ability starts coming out.
Oh, maybe.
And it needs to be honed by secondary school education. So off to Hogwarts you go, where they can teach you how to make potions and teach you how to do Expelliarmus and all that kind of stuff, to make you into a wizard, to hone your magical ability, which makes sense. But for the 5th year student, he's already had 3 years of
Hogwarts
that he's missed, or she's missed, because you can play a male or a female, and you can customize the avatar and everything, to like just the face though, really, not the body.
Yeah, or anything. They have all different hairstyles and
faces. You can put the glasses on them, and different clothes and all that kind of stuff.
But there is no backstory as to why I, as the main character of the game, am just now going to Hogwarts as a 5th year, and that is a little bit like...
Well, it's kind of like they've done that mechanic in games where you can completely make up the name of your own character, and the other characters they only refer to you as the 5th year student.
Yeah.
They don't refer
fifth
to
year, yeah.
you 5th year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're the new 5th year, are you?
Yeah.
You know, you're not given a name like Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption or Commander Shepard in Mass Effect or anything like that. You know, it's like, it's, you know, totally your experience, which I think might have kind of taken away from, because I wouldn't mind coming to, like, your name is Winnie Paddington.
Yes.
He came up with this Winnie Paddington. What's my name? Winnie Paddington.
I just looked at our bookshelf.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh and Paddington Bear. You know, it's Winnie Paddington, and you know, it's kind of like, if there was a Winnie Paddington, if that's what everybody had to play Winnie Paddington, I would have been fine with that. You know,
yeah,
because that's You're just controlling this person. They've got a backstory, but you're controlling them through this thing. And
I'm sure through the use
journey
of AI, they might be able to make the characters in the game be able to say your name whenever you come up with your own name.
Yeah, I have a feeling
they'll use the actors' voices to just like put together.
Yes.
Oh, Winnie, come on, Winnie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that might be something they're working on already.
Yeah.
But yes.
So you are just now going to attend Hogwarts as a 5th year. We don't know Professor why. We don't know why, where you've been or what's happening, but for some reason you're just going to attend. Yeah, Professor Fig picks you up. He picks you up
and you're in this carriage starting off with this, like, I don't know if he's a minister or something. He's one of the ministers of magic or something. He's something to do with... you get attacked by a dragon, and it's got a collar on, and it's all like, whoa, you know, it's like crazy times are happening. Yeah. The story is around the time of the Goblin Rebellions, you know?
Yeah.
So there's like this lead... And your character has this kind of like ability, kind of like Harry Potter, to like, you know, the chosen one. They can see this ancient magic.
Yeah.
And you know, and they can.
You're not actually called the chosen one.
You know, it's kind of, that's the trope though. It's like you're the one who's gonna save the day. And,
yeah.
So, you know, it's familiar for Harry Potter fans. You know, you're going on this journey.
Yeah.
And you have companions in the other houses. You get to be sorted into the houses.
Yeah.
So you can...
I see what happens at the beginning of the game is, you know, it goes with the plot. It's sort of like getting you into what is the plot, you know, the plot line of the whole game. But I think, to go with what you said about people saying, oh, I just want to be a student, it would have been more fun to have to board the Hogwarts Express to get to school like everybody else, you know, and maybe meet some of the other main characters on the train. And maybe the action could have happened on the train instead of this weird, like, carriage in the air for some reason. Like, why am I getting specially escorted to the school? I don't understand.
But that's another thing. It's like they had to come up with this thing. So, we can't have an 11-year-old character. You know, like Harry Potter was 11 when he started Hogwarts.
Yeah.
It's like, we need 15. Yeah,
she or he
can,
or whoever 15, needs to be a bit older
for the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know,
and even
there's no, like, romance element in it.
No.
Thank goodness. Because, you know, when people go, oh, yeah, it's just like, these are a bunch of teenagers, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, calm down, you know? But it's just like, yeah, so they cut that out, thankfully, you know? Because in other games, that's a mechanic, you know?
Oh,
When you're an older... Because you're an older person.
When you're an adult.
An adult, yeah.
Yeah.
So... You know, and I don't know if they had plans to, like, make a sixth year thing.
Yeah.
Like, because that's apparently when you learn disapparate. And you can't disapparate.
Yeah. I haven't finished the game yet, so we cannot talk completely about the whole plot and what ends up happening. Yeah, because I don't want Dominic to ruin it for me. Or you guys.
I haven't ruined anything for her. I just kind of, like, help her out when she's stuck in like, things that I've done. Because sometimes she'll do a side quest that I haven't done.
And he helps me out when I'm not stuck.
It's like, come on, do that quest. Go over there. Go
do
there.
that. You need to go over there.
No,
for this
turn
one,
around and do
I'm just
that.
like, zip it, zip it.
I'm just like, turn around. Oh, I don't know. It's probably an OCD thing.
I'm just like, you're the worst.
Because with gaming, I'm just like, oh, I've got to do the quest. Oh, they got to do.
It's like watching a movie.
Okay.
It's like watching a movie with someone who's telling you what's going to happen at every second. Yes, and it's just like,
and it's like I can sit back and I'll just like let her do it, and I'm just like, oh. Yeah, maybe if you turn around, if you do that. Oh, okay. I think press that. Go do that.
I think part of the reason why I like exploring is because I did happen to come across something that he didn't know about. And he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen this," and whatever. So then now I'm just constantly like trying to find.
And there will be, because I never 100%ed it myself.
I'm just trying to constantly find little things, little bits, and like little characters and little side quests that he doesn't know about, just because, like, then it's my own experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes me feel more like I'm in the world.
Yeah. No, and I mean, with Hogwarts, I kind of just, I just kind of speed ran it, I guess you could call it. But I didn't, really, I just kind of just did the quests as they came up.
Yeah.
And, it's like, oh, this, and, if I was there, it's like, oh, there's a side quest, I'll just do that. I didn't do all of them. Some of them I don't recognize.
Yeah.
Like when you were flying around, I'm like, oh, I don't think I did that one. And then you'll do it, and maybe I'll go, oh, yeah, I remember this now.
It's funny because
I only played it a few months back, so
when you get sorted into your house, like I was sorted into Ravenclaw. Actually, I think
I was in Ravenclaw. You can kind of like
direct them into which house
and also
you want to be in.
They tell you, oh, you can link it to your Wizarding World account, which was used to be Pottermore.
Yeah.
And you've sorted yourself into a house there and everything, you've done the whole thing. And it says, like, oh, that'll be taken into account, they'll sort you into that house. And
yeah. That would have been interesting if you could do that and it would have affected more elements of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was 5 years in the making. I mean, I keep comparing it to, like, open world games like Red Dead Redemption 2, which have a lot more mechanics in game, which a lot more immersion and realism. I mean, if people have played that, they know, oh, I have to take care of my horse. If I don't eat, my character will die,
I wonder if
there's, like, random, like, happenings that you can find on the map. And sometimes I'm looking at Reddit and stuff like that, and I can see, like, people go, oh, I just saw a hippogriff do this, or I just saw a rabbit do that, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, remember one time I was running through Hogsmeade, and we saw a little scene of a couple boys getting thrown out of...
that kind of thing.
Out of, what's the joke shop?
Zonkos,
yeah. They were getting kicked out, and you were like, oh, I don't
remember. Yeah, because, I mean, when you're running around just to do the quest, you're not really paying too much attention.
I wonder if they did make this game, though, for people like me who possibly have never played a game before. Well, and it's like, let's just make it kind of basic for people to like an intro game, you know what I mean?
I think if they'd had a bit more money, they would have put a bit more stuff in. I think, because...
I mean, 150 million, you said, like, that's not enough money.
I mean, you've got to think of, like, that most of that is going to the CEO, isn't it? Whatever.
Well, yeah.
It's just like, oh, most of that's going on high tariffs or whatever, It's just, and, promotion of the game. It didn't have a great launch. They always say that about games. Oh, its launch was terrible, and
I think I read that it was the highest selling game of 2023, though.
Yeah, and... there should be a sequel on the way because of that.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers are kind of dragging their feet going, maybe, going to do a live game, going to do this. And it's like people just want a sequel. They want Hogwarts Legacy 2, a single player game. We don't want multiplayer mobile, messed up stuff and with microtransactions. We would just want this game. We want a game like this again.
Yeah.
With a new story.
I think it's really fun.
Yeah, it is a fun game. I mean, if you're into games, you'll enjoy it.
If you're not into games, you'll enjoy
sometimes,
it.
Well, if you're not into games, you'll enjoy it because sometimes you're just playing there, and I'm not helping you or anything like that. You turn around and go, it just happened to me. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because sometimes you're not watching, and I'm just like, oh my god, did you see that? Just little weird things will happen, like, you turn someone into a chicken and you didn't mean to, or like... Yeah, I can't remember what happened the other night. I did something, and I was like, oh, you missed that. You didn't see it. It was so cool. And then she said, oh, too bad there was no one around to see that.
Oh, that you did a Protego and
it ricocheted.
And they fired something and it ricocheted back. You
killed everybody around.
Perfect Protego, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time it's just like boom, and it just kills them all around. You're like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, to me, little things like that, like that had never happened before. You know, if it was the same sort of, you did the same spell and the same thing happened every single time, that could probably get a little bit samey, but there's just enough stuff like that for me that makes it feel different. You know what I mean? Like, all right, there's all kinds of stuff in this game that you have to do, like popping balloons or like landing on landing pads, or there's Merlin trials, and you don't
Merlin
get
trials are really cute.
You don't really get a lot. You don't really get anything for doing any of that. Except
I think if you 100% them, if you do all of them, you get something. I'm not sure. I've never done it. I haven't really looked up to see whether you do or not, but I'm presuming you do, because that's the kind of thing with games now. It's like they want you to 100% the game. They want you to keep playing the game. Even after you've done the quests and the story and stuff, it's an open world. It's like, oh, go see what you can find now. You know, It's like, oh, look at that rabbit. You could turn it into something.
And there's so many things, you know, and I do the little Merlin trials and everything, even though they can be a bit repetitive. Oh, I've got to get this ball down this hill I've got to smash all this, or whatever.
I've got to blast all this stuff.
But the scenery in the area is different. And it just makes me feel like, okay, if this was a movie and I actually am this character in this movie, this is something I've got to do. You know, I've just got to do this. And so it just makes me feel like, all right, so here's another one of these. I've got to do it. You know, I don't know. I don't find it, like, boring.
Yeah, no. And obviously, a lot of people don't. They like doing that. It's like, oh, I've got to collect this, and I've got to get this piece of candy, and I've got to do. You know,
I think it would be nice if you did get some sort of like little like just secret nugget here and there. Maybe not every single time, but just like, oh wow, you know, whatever.
It'll
something
be like a
happened
Steam achievement or something you'll get for it. I think that's what people go for now, is the Steam achievements. And like, oh, 100%, I got all the Merlin trials, and it goes blink, you know.
Steam achievement. I don't even know what that means.
Because I mean, people who download off Steam, they download it through Steam, and so there's Steam achievements, meaning you pass the first chapter, it'll go blink on Steam, you know, because other people can see that you've played this game.
Oh, I don't care about anybody else knowing. I just mean like
within just for the game, too.
Give me some kind of little cool something that happens within the game because I did that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like some kind of little secret thing, like, oh, if nobody else happened to have done this same thing, then I'm the only one that knows about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just some little... It doesn't tell you, oh, you're going to get this for doing this, you know? It just happens. And that would be, like, magical then. Like, ooh, nobody else knew about that. You know, you just feel like, ooh, nobody else knew about that. Because I've done 20 Merlin trials before, and that never happened. But on this one, ooh, there's this little magical thing, whatever it is, you know. I wish there was some more stuff like that, and maybe I keep doing it just out of the hopes that there will be one day.
I mean, there probably will be, yeah.
Well, like happening upon that maze that popped up, to me that felt like a little magical thing that was just suddenly there, you know, and you didn't know about it, so it felt
I had no idea about it.
So it felt even more magical then, because Dominic goes on Reddit and sees everybody talking about all the different little things, so he kind of, even if he didn't like do them, he kind of knows about them because he's seen other people talking about them. Yeah. I have not done that. So when it happens to me, I'm just like, oh, this really is magic. You know,
there's some great missions in the game that really harken you back to the Harry Potter life. You know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I saw when I was like, oh, there's a trial coming up, you haven't done it yet, but I saw it on Reddit, I was like, oh yeah, I remember doing this, and I thought it was really cool. You'll find it really cool, because you love it too. The Deathly Hallows one.
Oh, yeah.
Where they changed the graphics to look like storybook graphics and stuff like that. And you
like you're in the Deathly Hallows story.
I thought that's a nice touch and everything, yeah. But yes, I mean, for me, the story was okay. Mm-hmm. You know, it was fine. It was okay. It didn't get me in the same way as older games stories got me.
Yeah.
You know, even the Mafia story, Mafia Definitive Edition, which is probably something else I'm gonna have you play at some point, because you'll love that. Because Eric is a big Mafia head.
He's gonna put me on Twitch one of these days, just so people can laugh at me when I'm doing these
people
games.
And then you'll see how unannoying I was, because you'll have people going, oh my god, you should do this! Do this!
I'll just ignore them.
Yes, it's like, well, pay me to do that then. Pay me to go down that alleyway. You know, it's just like, give me $5 and I'll go down that alleyway. It's just gonna that kind of thing. The story was okay. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna spoil it right now for Erica, but, it was okay. I mean, I don't know, I just kind of... I'm not a huge fan of Harry Potter anyway.
You are too.
Am I?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I like it. But it's not like my... Oh, yeah.
It's not your thing.
It's not my thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not wearing the cloak and flying on a broom.
But you would.
I would do it, yes. Because I do those things. I do them. But for me, a score in a game, like a soundtrack and stuff like that, is integral to it. It's like watching a movie.
Yeah.
And the score for Hogwarts Legacy was fantastic.
It's really good, yeah.
It's like they've created something original by staying true to the John Williams-esque kind of
well, I love when
magical.
I like the movie aspect to it when you endanger girl, because all of a sudden the music will change, and it's just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen,
When you get near a goblin encampment or something, or you hear say, oh, I just like a bit of mushroom tea.
like a cup of mushroom
and you're just like, oh,
where is he? Where is he? I don't see him.
And then the music will turn to yeah, that kind of stuff happens all the time, the battle music.
Yeah. And then
the voice acting is brilliant.
And then some of the flying is the music that's playing when you're just flying is really nice.
And flying and just like, oh. Yeah. Soaring Over Hogwarts is probably the standout track.
Yeah, there's very Harry Potter-esque type
when you're
music
doing
here and there.
Not the Merlin trials, the broom trials. Mm-hmm. When you're doing the broom racing thing, and it's very Harry Potter.
Oh my god, yes, my heart's racing.
You're just doing it.
I'm just like, oh no, I missed it.
Yeah. See, that's what they love on Twitch. They love to see you doing, I'm in the world, I'm doing it, The voice acting, Sebastian Croft, who was in Heartstopper on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
He was the bully that's kind of into the main character or something.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name on it. But he voices the male main character. And he does a very, very good impression of Daniel Radcliffe. Because people thought it was Daniel Radcliffe. Is Daniel Radcliffe the voice of Harry Potter? It's like, no, he's just doing a very kind of Yeah. And he does it, to me it's like, oh yeah, he sounds like Harry does in the movies, and that's a very good bit of direction. Not totally, but you're playing the female, so it's Amelia Gething. Oh. And she's kind of got Harry, it's a Merlin trial.
Yes. The actress who plays Mrs. Patmore.
She's Professor Weasley.
Yeah.
And Simon Pegg is the headmaster.
Oh yeah.
And you get to play him as well. Spoiler alert.
Yes, that's so fun. That's a good little bit of the game.
Yeah, because I was like, he doesn't really get too much. Because I remember he doesn't really get too much.
Who's Figged? Is that anybody we know?
Oh, I don't know. I think he might be just a Lodgok and all that. They're kind of classic video game voice actors. I've heard his voice all my life, or my gaming life.
My only real complaint, I think, about the game is that there's a lot of opportunities to like make the good decision or to make the bad decision, and it feels like if you
there's no morality system in
if
this
you
game
made
either.
the bad decision, I feel like there should be some sort of like
it should affect the outcome.
Yeah, it should affect the outcome,
or at least
you should be a bad guy. You're going to be a bad guy then at the end, and it's going to affect the outcome of the story in some way, and you're evil then,
I mean, they implement that kind of system in Red Dead Redemption and Mass Effect as well. Like if you take the low honor route, people are going to react a little bit differently to you. The story is is locked in. It's like you're going to do the story regardless, but characters will be like, "Oh, you're a bit of a."
Well, they do that because I made
a bad guy.
I made an ugly choice a couple of different times.
Oh, you did, yeah. But there's no.
And the girl, and I've passed by the girl before, and she's like, "Oh, you didn't ever give me back my
gobstones." Yeah.
Oh, you.
And there's people in there who's like, "Oh, I wish I'd never given those gobstones
back."
But
that's it, And I feel like
there's no people were like, "Oh, they should have implemented a system where you got docked points."
Yeah.
Your house points or something,
Something, yeah. Oh, yeah, you don't get... Yeah, I mean, I usually...
Or, if you're taking, the very evil route, you should start to look a bit like...
Or they should have just
evil,
had two...
your skin and everything like that,
Or they should have just had, two different outcomes, if you choose... a choose-your-own-adventure book... when you're reading a choose-your-own-adventure book, that it should have been like that. Because otherwise, what's the point of giving you, the options?
Yeah, I mean...
If it doesn't affect anything at all whatsoever, other than someone might mumble about you when you pass them in the hallways at Hogwarts, I mean,
with, it's... I guess they were designing it as, a standalone game, and they weren't going to be like, oh, this is going to be a trilogy, or this is going to be, like they did with Mass Effect, because in Mass Effect you make a choice and it carries over to, and you import that save into the next game.
Yeah. That
means that choice is locked in forever. If you chose to, kill these people or something like that, it's gonna, something different's gonna happen in the game in the next game, depending on your choice,
Yeah.
So it's that's why, they could have done so much more with this if they had if you chose to be evil, the next game in Hogwarts Legacy, it's everybody's going to be like, okay, yeah, you're evil. And we're not going to give you access to this.
Yeah,
and
we've heard about you.
It's a different story, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same with Red Dead Redemption 2. If you're low honor, you don't get store discounts. If you're high honor...
Yeah.
Then you do. You get a store discount because, oh yeah, you're a friend to this town, sir,
Oh my gosh. But anyway, I think we're over time now, so we should probably wrap it up. But maybe we'll make if you enjoyed this episode, let us know, and maybe we'll make a second one.
We'll make a Twitch thing, and we'll just get Erica to replay all these games.
Maybe we'll make a second episode, when I finish the game, so we can talk about what I thought about the ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know. Let us know if you've played the game. Let us know if you're a Harry Potter fan and you've thought about playing the game. Let us know if you've never played a video game in your entire life, because I'd be interested to know that as well.
Yes, I think. I think you're getting onto that. Because can I go to Hogwarts? Can I go to Hogwarts now? Because we share this computer.
Yes, he's on the computer, and I'm like, can I go to Hogwarts now?
And I, he said, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't regret it because you're getting into it now. You're getting into the Hogwarts world.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. As always, for tuning in, we really appreciate your support. Be sure to give us a follow on social media. If you don't already, we are at TButty, TEABUTTY on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
All the things.
TikTok, all the places. X, yeah. Shout out to our patrons for their continued support. We really appreciate you guys. And we'll talk to you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.